Hi everyone, welcome back to Plum Mashable. So today's video is going to be a review of probably my favourite thing I've brought into my craft room in a little while. This is actually really cool. This is the Tim Holtz Mixed Media Glass Mat. If you want to hear all about it, then just keep watching. Alright, so there are probably plenty of better reviews on YouTube on this one. I know I watched a ton of them when I was trying to find out if I was actually going to purchase this or not. But these are my thoughts on it. I know you guys like my opinions on things sometimes, so I thought, well, what the heck, I might as well add my opinion to the whole big thing on it. So this is the Tim Holtz Mixed Media Glass Mat, and in that respect, it's very simple. It's a glass mat. I'm sure everyone out there who's seen this behind and don't really know what a glass mat, what you use it for, sort of wonders, okay, what's the difference? I'm sure everyone has seen the old kind of cutting mats. This is what I think crafters have been using since basically forever to protect their work surfaces and stuff. And while this is really good, sometimes there's things that don't work so well on this. And in my opinion, ink blending especially doesn't work very well on one of these kinds of mats. Obviously cutting works very well on this kind of mat, and I'll come back to something about that a little bit later on. But the glass mat, because it is A, cold, and B, doesn't take on any kind of heat or anything like that, and because it's so smooth, it really helps to get some of those inks on and not have quite so much resistance when you're blending them onto the page. Now that's one reason that you really would like the mat. Other reasons you'd really like the mat is it's really good for heat embossing because it won't warp underneath the heat when you're sort of directing the heat from the gun straight onto the mat. And it's also really great for watercolor coloring or using paints and splatters and bits and pieces like that because it's so easy to keep clean. Now this one actually at the moment is a little bit messy, and I've done that on purpose because I want to show you how real easy it is to clean. The only thing I've ever used to clean this so far is water and a microfiber cloth. I just spritz a little bit of water on here and you just rub it until it's clean. That's seriously as simple as it is. I've had paint on here, I've had watercolor on here, I've had Tombows on here, I've had ink on here, like Distress Oxides on here, and I've had absolutely no problem with keeping any of it clean. I have a couple of tiny little scratches, but honestly not something that I'd have to actually search for them to find them. I'm not quite sure how those scratches happened, but probably from me dropping stuff on it because I do that quite a lot. So let's talk a little bit about exactly what we've got on here. So on the left hand side, you can see we've got this gorgeous grid set out. This is 14, and I'm going to do inches because that's sort of the way that that's done, but I'll then tell you centimeters afterwards. It's 14 inches from left to right, and it's 12 inches top to bottom. So that's 30 centimeters high, and it's just under 36 centimeters wide. Gives you a really good work surface to kind of work around on. There's plenty of room. Really does make it easy, but all these little measurements help even more. So not only do they have the 0 to 12 and the 0 to 14, but if you go along the top, it's got it centered from the bottom. So you've got 0 to 7 and 0 to 7, and then you've got, where it's on this side, 0 to 6 and 0 to 6. So if you want to work out where the center point of your card is, or your sheet or your page or whatever you're working on, you can do that really easily just by guiding it around on here. The other thing that's really cool about the measurements is they are actually on the back of the glass. So I'm just going to spin this over for a second. They're actually printed underneath the glass on the bit, this white bit here on the back. So that means they're not going to rub off, they're not going to get dirty, they're just always underneath. Makes it really easy, so they're always going to be there for you. So on the right hand side of the mat is what they call a mixing area. Now it does come with this little plastic kind of sticky sheet thing. I haven't quite worked out what it's for yet, even with watching lots of reviews. Everything that they did on the mat to me seemed really easy just to do on the mixing area anyway. So at the moment this one lives on the back of my mat all the time, so that way I don't lose it and it doesn't get damaged. So this lives underneath. I'll actually show you. So I just flip this up, and I'm going to show you the back on here in a minute as well. So I just stick it just down on there. It's not going to get lost, not going to get damaged, and really easy just to remember where it was. So then you've got your actual mixing area, which I'm just going to give a bit of a clean while I'm here. It's got these little grids on here as well. And these are kind of designed to be able to be used with your watercolors. So you can kind of do like a palette over here. You can either do that with watercolor paints or normal acrylic paints or oil paints or anything like that. But you can also use it with Tombows or with inks, like your oxides or your distress inks. just smush it down and you've got yourself a little mixing palette. I love that there's the space for each one, but there's also, you can just go crazy and just make a mess, and everything cleans up perfectly with a microfiber cloth or a tissue or paper towel. One of the other things I really love about this mat is the fact that it has got some really sturdy rubber feet on it, which means when I'm blending or when I'm cleaning, it doesn't move. I have to really push on this to get it to move at all. And that's because of the little feet on the back. I'm just going to put this down carefully. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 silicone little feet means it's not going to slide around. There's nothing worse than your mat sliding around when you're trying to do stuff. I've had not one problem so far with my mat moving at all. As even when I'm really hard, like ink blending, or really, really, really hard trying to rub something out, I have had no issue whatsoever with my mat moving, and I love it. I also love how easy washi tape sticks and unsticks to this. So if I do want to use washi to hold something still, I don't have to worry about it tearing the paper because it comes off here really easily. It makes it really easy to then roll off my paper as well. So when I got this baby, I did also grab the extra little toolkit that it doesn't come with it, it's an additional add-on, but to me, I kind of felt like I needed to have them anyway. So the first thing is this, it is a ruler, but it doesn't have any measurements on it. But what it is designed to do is give you a straight edge. So it's got a little notch on the back here that makes it easy to line up on your glass mat. It slides along really easily and gives you that straight edge no matter what, because it is lining up along the top or the side, depending on which way you want to use it. I know you guys have seen me use this to sort of line up my stickers when I'm using my weekly decorations. It's great for that because I know it's that straight. I don't have to think about it. I just know it is. It's also great for tearing washi tape. The actual ruler itself has, I'm going to call it a ruler. It has a flat edge that's got a little metal bit in here. That's really good for using to cut with, because your knife will just run down the side of that. And then you've also got a beveled edge on the side, which is just an extra kind of thing if you wanted to use the beveled edge. Something I will note though, if you are going to use this to cut, I think it's fine to use the ruler to sort of line it up, but I would highly suggest grabbing in one of your old-fashioned craft mats to use as actual cutting, because I think this would scratch really badly. I know the reviews that I've read say that's really the only thing that this glass mat can't do. It can't really take knives on it because it will scratch, and you don't want that. The other thing that came in my little accessory kit, which I'll admit I haven't used as much, I just haven't needed to. It's not really in my wheelhouse, the kind of thing that this would be useful for, but it is a little scraper, great for cleaning off paint. If you had sort of like used the whole thing as a bit of a paint cleaner and then the paint had dried, this is really good just for getting on, scratching it off, and then being able to just wipe it off with a cloth. So it came with the ruler, so I figured, well, that sort of works, but probably not 100% necessary for what I craft, but a nice little add-on. It fits really nicely in the hand actually. You've got a little finger notch here. This is a nice solid rubber, so it's easy to hold on to and just really easy just to kind of scrape along there. I did use it to help transfer some of my vinyl the other day, and it worked really, really well. So in total, just because I've kind of gone off track there a little bit, this is 23 inches wide by 14 inches high. It gives you a really good wide space to really be able to create. So far I like it most because it's easy to kind of keep my mess on here. I don't sort of tend to wander off. Like, you know, when you're sort of with your desk, you've got your little crafting space and you end up with a pile here and a pile here and a pile here and a pile here. So far I sort of keep it on here, which is really helpful. And then I just sort of chuck everything in my little bin. That's an extra little bonus thing that's been helping a lot. But I really think this has added something to my craft room. It makes me feel like I'm a bit more of a crafter, if I'm being deadly honest. I think it's a really good kind of, it feels like something a real crafter would have, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but makes me feel like I'm at least sort of halfway there. I think it's got a lot to, how good a stuff you make has a lot to do with your tools, and this is a tool I think is actually helping with my crafting. Certainly allowing me to play a little bit more with inks and watercolors and Tombows and those kind of things, because I have the ability to be able to just draw on them and just chuck everything here on the palette, and it works really, really nicely. So this is the large size of these ones. It does come in a travel size as well, which I'll be honest, I would love to get, but I'm not going to. I got mine from Scrap Dragon. I paid $84.99 for it just before Christmas. I do know that it's actually sold out at the moment, but if you are interested in this one, I know there are a couple of other places to get it in Australia. You don't just have to get it from Scrap Dragon, but if you want to be notified when they've got it, they do have this cool Notify Me service that you can click on, and when they're back in stock, they will send you an email. The little tool set, so the ruler and the scraper, cost me $27.99, again from Scrap Dragon, all came in one big package, which I really liked, and they are in stock at the moment. So if you do already have your glass mat and maybe I've talked you into grabbing the toolkit, they are in stock at the moment. Overall, like I said, I think this has been a really important addition to my craft room. I love it. I love the sleek look of it on my desk, and I just love the results I get from it. So I'm really, really happy to have it. This was my Christmas present, so thank you very much, Ryan, for my Christmas present. But I hope you guys found this review a little bit helpful. I know I'm a little scatty and a little bit all over the place. Like I said, there are so many fantastic reviews on YouTube that helped me decide that I wanted it. I'll link a couple of the ones I checked out before I bought it down below, just so you can get a really, really kind of rounded opinion on it. But everything I've seen, everybody loves this, and I can definitely see why now that I've got my own. So that is it for this little review. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Don't forget to be subscribed to my channel and follow me on all of my social medias. My 10K giveaway is still going on, so make sure you go and check that one out too. I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic, fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you again really, really soon. Sending lots of huggles. Bye!